Nowadays, social media is all abuzz with advice about positive thinking. Little tidbits like these show up on my news feed every day. Think positive, be positive. Always be positive. And my favorite, put your positive pants on. But I say, what if I don't want to put my positive pants on? What if today I made the decision to wear those shoes? The ones with the straps that cut into my pinky toes like razor blades? You know the ones I keep in my closet because they're just so cute. But then I forget and I wear them again only to rediscover that they certainly don't feel so cute. I have about 3 hours left in my workday, and I swear I can't even take one more step. Nothing in my life is feeling very positive right now. Indeed, I need an attitude adjustment. How we encourage others to think positive in a situation like this can make all the difference in whether they accept our good intentions or not. Because we all have days when positive thinking seems positively impossible. No one on this planet gets a free pass from life's challenges. Instead, we all face problems every day. Itty-bitty problems, medium mama bear-sized problems, and great big catastrophic problems. You get a haircut that you hate and realize you're going to have to live with that a month, maybe more. Your best friend's dog has been missing for 3 days, and she's frantic with worry. Your child's school calls to tell you that your straight-A student is now failing in most of his classes, and no one seems to know why. Tell me, are there times when we can be excused from positive thinking, even when we know deep down it's really for the best? Recently, I had lunch with a friend, and she asked me this question: would you tell someone to think positive in all circumstances? Now, I'm the kind of person who hates to be put on the spot by a complicated question. That's why I'm a complete failure at things like Jeopardy. Because I need time to think, to formulate an intelligent answer, because what if it's a trick question? And I'm beginning to wonder about this one because I am a huge proponent of positive thinking, and my friend, she knows that. But clearly, I can't speak for everyone, can I? So I took the easy road out with my answer. I said, I don't know. I guess it would depend on the circumstances. As our conversation continued, she brought up an important point. She was concerned about a growing cult of positivity, a mindset that blames victims for their circumstances or shames people for feeling frustrated, angry, or sad. After our talk, I began to pay more attention to social media references and advice about positive thinking. And what I discovered is that she was right. Sometimes positivity is being used as a buzzword, as a Band-Aid application for talk we simply don't like or approve of. And it made me realize what a huge responsibility we all have to share our positive vibes in a positive way. Now, for me, developing a positive mental attitude was a decision to make my life better, a little bit like my meditation practice or my yoga. There are things that I try to be good at, but I'm not always successful or graceful about any of them. Like my life, they're simply works in progress. But without a doubt, positive thinking has been the single most powerful game changer in my day-to-day experience. The fact that we know how effective it can be in our own lives kind of naturally makes us think that it's the logical solution for other people's problems, especially people who are caught up in a web of negative thinking. But using the catchphrase, just think positive, can leave people who are troubled feeling more alone and hopeless than if nothing had been said at all. In a way, the insistence to think positive no matter what can come across like, put a lid on it, or don't make waves, don't complain. Sometimes our positive words, rather than being an encouragement, make people feel silenced. In reality, what people in trouble really need is compassion and understanding, because it really sucks to be where they're at. And I know because I've been there. I've been in trouble. I've been in situations where I couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. In 1999, when everyone was still partying with Prince, unfortunately, I was not. I was in the process of leaving a 10-year marriage with 3 kids, not a penny to my name, and really nowhere to go. I'm going to admit that I was stubborn, and I didn't want to go home because I didn't want to hear all of the "I told you so's." I was already walking out of a situation with my tail tucked between my legs in shame, and the last thing I needed was a reminder to just think positive. What I needed was a friend. I consider myself one of the lucky ones because she found me. Her name was Virginia, and she gave me a place to live, and she gave my kids a place to call home for a while. I don't know too many people who would have taken me in, because at the time, I was a huge, hot mess of negativity. It was pretty ugly. I was like some gloomy pop star, singing all the same old worn-out cover songs of angst and complaint. I think I did anger and frustration, resentment, blame, sad and sorry. Of course, there was disappointment, judgment, disillusionment. Did I mention resentment? You see, I wanted nothing more than to move forward or to get better. But I had a hard time getting past the thought that everything in my life up until then had been completely unfair, which wasn't really the truth. But I worry sometimes when I hear suggestions that we should avoid negative people or put them out of our lives, because honestly, I don't know what I would have done without Virginia. She believed in me when I could not. She looked right through my veil of negativity, past the shame and the fear, and she saw the truth in my potential. So, if we want to make the world a more positive place, it's important for us to be careful how we handle people who are voicing negativity. Because to think positive is a choice that each of us has to make in a moment and under a circumstance that's unique only to us. It's not something we can simply expect of others. Positive thinking is also a skill that most of us have to learn over time, with practice, patience, perseverance, and sometimes a lot of prayer. So it's important for us not to oversimplify that act of just shifting to a positive mindset. Because if you're anything like me, it can take years, well, to be honest, probably decades, to develop the ability to, first of all, recognize that we're being controlled by a negative thought, and then to just drop it like a hot potato and reach out for something more promising and hang on for dear life. Because still, after all of this time, I have my days. I have bad hair days, and I certainly have bad shoe days. So, what can we do for a friend who we think is on a collision course with their negative thinking? Well, I have a strategy that I've been using in my own life, and it works really well with other people as well. And I want to share it with you tonight. So if you have a pen, you might want to write this down. First and foremost, we need to listen, because being optimistic doesn't mean we can't talk about challenging issues or listen when someone needs to share a negative, painful experience. Speaking up and speaking out about the things that are not working in our lives or in society is how positive change in the world has always happened. When we get things out in the open, we can see them more clearly, and that's when people and society heals and gets better. Second, we can help people see new possibility without negating the experiences that they're currently having, and we do that by asking empowering questions. My favorite is, what experience would you like to have instead? In reality, most of us want to have positive experiences in our lives, and we're pretty good at figuring out what that is. But even if someone can't answer this question right away, it's okay. Our asking it gets their imaginations going, stimulates their thinking about a really juicy future, one they didn't really have access to before, and that's our goal. Finally, if possible, we want to help people take action. So I'm going to ask people, what could we do today to help get you there? Once someone knows that a better option exists for them and they thought of it on their own, they're much more willing to take action to move themselves in that direction. And note the use of the word we, which reinforces the idea that we're not alone in facing our problems, even though it sometimes feels that way. Finally, you, each and every one of you, can be that light at the end of someone's tunnel. Your positive smile, a kind word, a knowing, friendly hand on someone's shoulder are all great reminders that we're in this together. We don't want to blame or shame others for their negative thinking because, come on, we've all been there at some point in our lives. Instead, we want to empower others to learn how to shift their thinking on their own. We must honor the process that each of us has to take in order to think productive thoughts. Together, all together, we need everybody. We can be a tremendous positive force in this world when we encourage others to follow us with kindness and respect. Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy. Thank you.